Excellent. Well, Miss Money, are you ready?
I am.
Excellent. The first question we all want to know, and some may already know, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Cape Canaveral, Florida, but I was raised all over, mostly in my mother's hometown of Wabasso, Gifford, Florida. They're about 20 minutes away from each other, but my grandmother lived in Wabasso on a farm. And so I spent a lot of my summers there, holidays, and then I grew up in Vero Beach, went to Vero Beach High School, but my biological father was in the Navy, so I bounced around, like lived in San Diego, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Connecticut, lots of different places.
Well, how fun was that to travel all over?
It was okay because I'm really good at making new friends, but as I got older, I was kind of like jealous of other people who had friends that, they grew up and went to first grade with. I never had that. But it was cool because I got to kind of like learn from my mistakes in the past, city and become a new person when I got to the next place. So
something.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And it helps you to adapt. I've heard people share that when they've moved around a lot with their parents being in the military, that it's been difficult, but you find it easier to adapt than some of us who have just been in the same place the entire time.
Oh yeah, I definitely know how to get ready, get out the door in 5 to 10 minutes. I know how to pack up a house in like 2 or 3 days. There's just some things that you get from being nomadic like that I don't think a lot of people get to experience. So there's some pros and cons
to it. That's right. That's right. Now, where do you live now?
I live out in California, split between California and Florida. Right now, I'm in California because obviously we just did BT Awards and working on new music, but I'm gonna always be a Florida girl, I think. I don't think I'm ever go too far.
Good for you. I don't blame you about that. Now, when did you know that you wanted to become a singer, and what set you on that road to stardom?
I think I always wanted to be a singer. I always wanted to do something in entertainment. I remember from being very, very young, I wanted to be a ballerina, wanted to be on stage. I used to put on all my socks and in the drawer and like stand on my tippy toes. Always wanted to do something in front of people. So that's like as long as I can remember. I don't think I ever had any other plan. There was a time when I wanted to be like a forensic scientist and a chef, but I didn't pursue those things. I just kind of was like, yeah, I'm singing. I don't know, like what else is there,
Well, you do that well. And now, how did your mom, your parents feel about you saying that you wanted to become a singer?
I don't think they thought I was serious. My parents, like when I was younger, I remember my mom took me to the studio when I was 12 one time. And it didn't pan out too well because my biological father was like trying to get all up on the songs. He was like, if I can't play trumpet on every song, she can't do it.
Oh, wow.
So he kind of ruined that for me, but they never really took it serious beyond that. And then when I got older, my mom and my stepdad really wanted me to go to college because I was really good at school and I read a lot, very astute, love school, love to learn. And they tried to bribe me with a car to go to college. And I was like, no, I'm not going. I really want to sing. So I don't know. I've just always had this crazy desire to do it. And I don't think everyone really took it serious until I moved to LA and I started having success. And they were like, oh, wow, you really are doing this.
Well, you did that for sure. So what does mom and the family have to say about that sensational BET performance?
Oh, my mom was crying. She couldn't even talk. We called her, It's funny because you know how Mulatto, when she won Best New Artist, she was crying and she couldn't talk. That's exactly how my mom sounded. She was like, "I'm so proud of you." Like, yeah, she's just, fielding all these phone calls and Facebook requests from all the people in my hometown. Like, everybody's really proud to have somebody be from a small town on that stage. So
And
she's enjoying it.
you represented well for sure. You did. And so now you thought about becoming a chef. Are you still cooking these days?
I cook a lot. My husband loves when I cook. Um, all of my chef tools are sort of in storage because we're between houses. It's so much more fun to cook when you have all your knives and your bowls and your gadgets. It's like a science experiment.
Wow.
But I don't have all that stuff right now. So what I do is like very basic. I have my cast iron skillet, so I do stuff with that, steaks and chickens and things. But I love to cook. It's really fun.
Do you find that it helps you to relax too?
I don't relax when I'm cooking because I want it to be right.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, let me make sure, every step is correct. And I pray a lot when I cook. I'm like, okay, God, please help me. It's another form of creativity for me. I'll say that. But no, I don't relax I relax when I'm doing my nails.
Okay.
Because I can sort of zone out with that. And if I mess up, it's okay. I could just throw it away and make another one.
So you like to do your own nails as well?
Yes, I did my own nails for the BET Awards.
The first thing I noticed how spectacular and beautiful they were.
Yeah, so I did those. It just helps me just zone out because there's a lot going on, and when there's a lot of chaos, I tend to get calm and like get quiet. And so it helps if I have something to focus on. Otherwise, everybody around me kind of gets nervous, like, why is she so calm? She's going to explode.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, I love that you do your own nails and they were so beautiful. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, look at those fingernails. They are pure perfection.
Oh,
And
thank
you did them yourselves. Oh my goodness. Now, I tell you, you have written hits for the like of Rihanna, Ariana Grande, Mariah Carey, all of these wonderful artists. And when did you know that the time was right for you to say, okay, now let me step back, let me focus on my songs and become continuing to become the artist that I need to be? When did you know that time was right?
I think I have been feeling the urge for a long time, but I was kind of like double-minded and conflicted, like, oh, I can still write for other people. It took me a minute to realize, like, you got to focus. You can't be wishy-washy with it. And so August 2019, I shut it all the way down. It was tough because I was still getting the phone calls like, hey, we want to fly you here. And what about a trip to Jamaica?
It sounds good.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh. I'm like, it's a test. It's a test. Don't fail.
That's right. Fail the test.
So I just had to really focus on me and put all my energy into what I was doing. And I had noticed a pattern, like it only takes about 2 years for a new artist who's consistent to break through. So if I just stay consistent for 2 years, if it doesn't work after that, maybe it's just not for me. So it took us about 1.5 years.
Wow.
So
and you just came out just guns blazing. And I mean, that perfect segue to the next question. And that is, what inspired you to work on the album, Public Displays of Affection 2? Your music is so beautiful, it's so soulful. What was the inspiration behind it?
I don't know. I didn't really have anything specific in mind when I was making the music, I sort of like wanted it to tell me what it wanted to be. I didn't have a title going in. That sort of just like came towards the end. But I think it's just my authentic perspective right now. I just celebrated my 7th wedding anniversary on the 12th. And that's just, that's just what I am going through right now, just experiencing the ups and downs of relationship. My friends were going through some of the stories that you hear on the album. It's just the general theme of my life right now is just love and relationship. So kind of formed itself. I was just like the channel for it.
Well, all of that exudes through your music because it's exceptional. And happy anniversary to you. Happy
anniversary. Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. Now, what was the inspiration behind Hours and Hours? And I was reading one of the sites had an article, we could listen to Muni Long for hours and hours, sing the song. And I'm thinking, ditto.
Yeah, so that song, I was washing dishes, which I hate. I do not like cleaning up at all. And I decided like, okay, I need to do something to keep me from just throwing this down and walking away. And I started scrolling through beats on YouTube. And I came across this track. Immediately it hit me like, I love this song so much. I love this sound so much. And it was a track called Hours. And so I just started like, it's called the mumble method, where you just sort of just like make sounds and nothing is coherent. It's just like melodies and rhythms. And so I was doing that. And after about 10-20 minutes, I had like a verse. So I wrote it down and I stopped, dried my hands, wrote the second verse. So I had like a verse and a chorus, and I wrote the second verse. Didn't really have a bridge or any of the other stuff at the end that you hear. But I went to the studio a couple of days later, recorded a demo, and then just like a scratch, sang it down from top to bottom, and didn't think anything of it. I was just like, every time I got in the car, I wanted to hear it like 2 or 3 times before I went to the next song. And I don't know, I just really loved it. And my friends too were like, Money, when are you putting that song out? And I was just like, whatever, y'all gassing me up. But they kept asking me. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and record it for real. And I put it on the project, and it almost didn't make it. It was like literally one of the last additions to the project. I think we added it like with 4 days left, and it came out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. And it was like that one and Time Machine were the last 2 videos that I shot for the project. So it was very much just like stream of consciousness. Like there was no master plan. It was just me following my instincts.
Well, you are exceptional and quite instinctive, clearly. Yes, indeed. And I have to co-sign on what you said. I don't like doing dishes and I don't like cleaning up.
Yeah, okay, well, that makes 2 of us. I hate it.
Never have since I was young. Indeed, indeed. Now, why has it been important to you to collaborate with the likes of John Legend, Saweetie, and others?
I love collaboration. I think co-creation is beautiful. It gives you an opportunity to step outside of like what you normally would be doing or what you are doing in that particular moment, and go and step into someone else's world. I have so many facets to my personality and the kind of music that I like and the different vibes that I can create. It's impossible as an artist. There's only 52 weeks in the year. And if you're releasing songs every 3 weeks, there's a limit to the amount of music that you can put out for your own, in your own sort of like world. In your strategy, there's only a certain amount of songs you can put out. I'm not great at math, but I know it's not that much. So when you work with other artists, that gives you the opportunity to sort of double it up. I can put out, if I have 3 features coming out around the same time, I've got my release, and then I can put out the song with this artist, and then I could put out the song with that artist the next week, and sort of use their steam and their strategy to get off some of your own creative juices. So that's how I look at it. I mean, I think it's really important to collaborate as well, because you learn, every experience, you learn something. I love working with John. He's just so classy and efficient. It was a pleasure to experience that. It gives me something to aspire to. When other people are working with me, I would love for them to walk away feeling how I felt after working with him.
I love that. I love that. Now, you mentioned being authentic, and you certainly are an authentic artist. How do you remain true to yourself and the beauty of your own artistic abilities?
Oh, that's a great question. I was just talking about that. I've been hearing a lot lately, the last couple of months, like, oh, well, you're a celebrity now, and you got to get used to this, and this is how it goes. And I'm just like, why? Why does it have to be that way? Why can't I just continue being normal? And like, yes, I participate and I engage and, allow people to like see inside my brain and just how I think. But as far as like dipping my toe in that water and wanting to be a part of it's very unstable. It's like, people love you one day, and then the next day you do something that they might not have a taste for and you're canceled. It just feels safer for my mental if I separate the two people. I have myself, Priscilla, the person who has these gifts, and I turn them on when I'm Muni Long, and I, become this character who really is just me, in the light. But then it's like, you don't need that stuff in everyday life. You don't need that to put food on the table, or, it's like, you don't walk around with like a sword every day because you don't need it. You only pull it out when you need it, right?
That's right.
So that's kind of how I look at it. It's like, I only pull that out when I need it, and then when it's time to go back to being normal, I'm reading my books, I'm watching TV, I'm, going outside, sitting in the sun, spending time with my family, just being regular. I think that's, and I've seen enough of it behind the scenes, like as a writer, to know like that's when you're in it for too long, that's sort of like when all those other negative side effects are triggered. And you have a lot of unhappiness, unstableness, trauma, substance abuse. You treat people bad. It's just, I just don't want to do that. I would love to have a peaceful, happy, joyful life. So that's what I'm choosing to do.
Wow. Wow. That is a great perspective to have. And I love that you said choose, because every day when we wake up in the morning, life is a choice. We choose our behavior. We choose how we will treat others. We choose to be kind. So yes, I love that. Oh my goodness, I love it. Yes. Now, what keeps you grounded? Sounds like you already are grounded. But what are some of the things that keep you grounded?
I don't know. My husband does a great job at that. very stern, or maybe I should say austere kind of personality. He's very I feel like he'll burst my bubble or get too, prissy. But just my family, I read a lot. And I prefer truth over everything. So I never want to get to a place where I can't access the truth, or like people around me are too afraid to tell me what's actually happening. It's like one of my biggest fears to think one thing and the reality is really something else, or think that everyone around me is satisfied and happy, and then I leave the room and they're like, oh bitch. Like I'm so scared of that. So I really am striving every day to like take people's temperature, like, hey, how was your experience? Like, was there anything that I could do better? I tried to remember to ask that. And so far, I mean, it's been all right. You can't please everybody. There's times when people are unhappy, but a lot of that, again, has to do with them, because you can just choose to, get over it. I mean, I do a lot of times. I'm just like, that wasn't the most favorable and I didn't like that, but I'm gonna have my attitude for 15 minutes and then I'm gonna get over it.
I love it. Well, you're good. 15 minutes, that's good, because my attitude can last a lot longer than that.
I try not to because, I have lupus, so that, any type of like negative emotion will manifest physically. So the longer I'm upset, the more painful it will be later. So I just try not to, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm not trying to be in pain later. So whatever.
Yes, good for you. Good for you. Yes, indeed. Now, Miss Money, as a young woman, you have achieved so much already. Oh my goodness, already. And you excel and perform at such a very, very high level. Why is it important for you to do that?
I don't know if it's because of like my star sign. Virgos, we tend to be very perfectionist, types. I definitely choose every day to like try to be the highest version of myself, whatever that means. In the book that I'm reading right now, it's called Universal Laws of Success and Achievement by Brian Tracy. And it talks about do more than what you should if you want to be paid more for what you do.
Excellent.
Something like that. So I'm always, I used to say overachieving, but Frank Gatson told me, you just achieve, and you just achieve at a high level. It's not over. Everybody else is just low. I
agree. You do. You're exceptional at all that you do.
Thank you.
And I love that you founded or co-founded Supergiant Records. Tell us how that came to be.
So that was the idea, the brainchild of my husband and myself. And then we brought in some partners. But mainly, my husband was like, I think we can do it. It was his namesake. He came up with a lot of it. And I was just like sort of the vessel to help manifest it. We actually became official January 2020. So it's been a full not even a full 2 years. It'll be 2 years. I'm not great at math. Don't quote me on this, but I believe this January coming up, it'll be 2 years fully.
Well, congratulations to you. That is an exceptional accomplishment. And can you share the artists that are on the label?
So right now it's just myself. And the reason being, I mean, there's a few people that we have been interested in, but I think all of us agreed we wanted to be able to actually offer that artist a full package, not just sign people and have them tied down and have them be frustrated, because I know what that feels like. But to actually have an infrastructure and have something, a plan, have experience. I believe we are almost at that place where we're ready to extend a hand to other artists. And we are all also looking for people who have as much tenacity and are as assertive as I am. I tend to like not wait for other people. I tend to just pick up the phone and be like, hey, I want to try this.
Good for
So
you.
there's someone out there who is, or several artists out there who have that same outlook.
Excellent, excellent. Indeed. Now, can you tell us about any special projects that you and your hubby and the label are working on in the future?
Obviously making more music for Muni Long. I'm working on the next project already. I just cut some songs this week for that. We have some really cool, maybe, I don't know if they're going to be NFTs or just like exclusive releases. I'm going into like the TV and film space. So there's so much happening and so many cool opportunities, especially after the BET performance. So many things. I'm going to be performing towards the, December, doing some spot dates and working on a tour for early 2023. Lots on the horizon, lots of things.
Excellent.